Okay, let's quickly talk about you quitting your job to move into Africa. So,
Yeah.
what was that like for you? Like, leaving the comfort of your well-paid job to
Yeah.
come to West Africa. What was that like? Real quick, what was that like?
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest with you, it wasn't a decision that was made quickly or easily. It was something that took about 6 months. Right around my 35th birthday, I was in Sierra Leone and I was meeting with my friends, and they were all talking about what they were doing at work. And, one person was working on an emergency response system like 911 in the United States, and for outer provinces of Sierra Leone. Another person was working with doctors and the local people around Ebola response and just ensuring people were okay with the doctors that were there and really trying to help them. And then when we were all talking about what we're doing for work, and I'm like, I'm putting ads on Hulu, and although that was really cool to have my mom now understand what I do for a living. And, when she talks about it and when I would talk to people, they'd be like, oh yeah, Hulu, I know Hulu. So that was great for my ego. But anytime I did anything on the continent, it was better for my soul, right? I actually really felt what I was doing. I felt like I was impacting something. So, I came to West Africa in May of 2019. By December of 2019, I knew that I was leaving my job when I came back again, and then I came to Ghana. So I quit my job in January of that year. And so the plan was just figuring out how I was going to get to the continent and how I was going to generate income. But it took about 6 months. And, I think every time I came to the continent.
Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Sound of Crowd podcast. I hope you're enjoying this episode. It's just a quick announcement. Now, have you guys been thinking about starting a podcast? I know everyone is starting a new podcast these days, but there's a very, very good reason why everyone is starting their podcast. Now, if you're thinking of starting, launching, growing, and monetizing your podcast, I'm here to let you know that I am now helping hundreds of podcasters around the world to do just that. And I've been doing just that for many years now. So if you're interested in learning how to start, launch, and grow your own podcast and get a piece of the pie of the podcasting world, and to be able to launch your own authority, launch your own brand, monetize, create a business, and so on and so forth, please do get in touch. Head over to a2zpodcasting.com and learn more about how we can support you and your podcasting goals.
So really for me, it was me seeing that there was also waste too. Like in my last job, I saw that there were like a bunch of prompters and screens for desks that hadn't been filled and weren't going to be filled. And I was like, how many people could use these screens in Sierra Leone, in Ghana right now? And so for me, I just saw like the waste, and I just felt like I wasn't doing anything to better my people, which is really the end goal of mine. And so I had a lot of conversations, a lot of deep thought about it. And I said to myself, if I keep pushing it off for later, it will never happen, right? If I keep saying one day I'll move to Sierra Leone, or one day I'll move to Ghana, one day I'll start investing or advising startups, it'll never happen. And so at that point, I just decided to do it. So I started advising companies at the end of 2019 to kind of start that process. And then I started applying for jobs in July of 2020. And that to me was kind of the first step. But I knew that I was going to make the move. It was just a matter of when. And so I had a few conversations specifically with a peer mentor of mine who was in South Africa starting his startup. And, he and I had a discussion, and he was like, listen, at the end of the day, you have to be there on the ground to make any waves or make any headway, especially when you're trying to shift careers. So he's like, you just need to move there. And then figure everything else out. So as long as you're making money, just go. And so I was already consulting. I had a way of making income from that year of, the 2020, I always call it the pandemic year. So during that year, and so I could do that from anywhere. So it was just like, why don't I just make the move and just make it happen?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you realize that there's remote jobs, or I can work anywhere in the world. Why not just work from Africa?
Yeah.
And help to make an impact, like my friends are making impacts. One of my friends is helping to run emergency response in Sierra Leone, and I want to do this. I want to cut off the action. I want to be in action in terms of making an impact.
Yes,
I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I love it. And also, Authentic Africans also helping to do that as well. So
yes,
it's amazing how your skill sets, the job that you have, like the business, whatever you have, is also, without realizing it, is also, or maybe accidentally, it's also become that thing that's helped you to achieve that very purpose.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, all right, guys, thanks for watching that clip from the Authentic African YouTube channel. If you want to see the full video, click up here. If you want to subscribe, don't forget to subscribe by clicking this link right here. And if you want to see anything more from the channel, then you want to click down here. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.